In his sleep, Denji dreams about a hidden door in a narrow pathway. When he wakes up, he goes to work. On his trip, he thinks about all the money he got for doing hard stuff like chopping down trees and even selling parts of his body. But he still has a lot of money to pay back. His pet, Pochita, starts to bark. This means there's a scary creature near them, which makes him happy. He gets paid well if he can defeat these creatures. Then, he sees a tomato monster, with Pochita's help, who can turn into a chainsaw. He beats the monster. The old man who gave him the job says he'll pay him a lot of money, more than he thought he would get. But after taking out some costs and extra charges, he only gets a little bit of money. The driver says he'll give him a little money if he eats his cigarette, and he does. But after the guy leaves, he spits it out. At home, while eating bread, he tells Pochita that some people put sweet stuff on their bread. But that's just a dream for them. He thinks he might never pay back all the money he owes, and he might not even find a girlfriend. He remembers standing at his dad's grave. The old man was upset because his dad left before he could pay all his money back. The old man told him he needs to get a lot of money by the next day, or he'll hurt him really bad. When the old man leaves, he sees a monster with a chainsaw. He feels so bad that he doesn't care if the monster hurts him. But then he notices that the monster is hurt and bleeding, so he offers to help by drinking the monster's blood. After drinking Pochita's blood, he tells Pochita that he needs to help him back. The next day, he fights another monster and gives it to the old man. He asks the old man if he can work for him, hunting monsters. He is so hungry that he can't sleep. He tells Pochita that he dreams of eating tasty bread with sweet jam, talking and playing with a girl, and then sleeping while they hug. Suddenly, he starts to cough up blood. He tells Pochita that he heard his mom had a sickness in her heart that made her cough up blood too. The old man comes to get Denji because there's a monster hunting job for him. They go to an empty old building, but Denji can't find any monster there. The old man tells Denji he likes him because he works hard and doesn't ask for much, but he doesn't like the smell of him. Just then, a man with a big sword hurts Denji and Pochita from behind. The old man tells Denji that even tough people dream of having more power and money, so they made a deal with a monster. They wanted more power, and the monster wanted to hurt monster hunters. The zombie monster shows up and says that the tough people were silly to become his servants just for a little bit of power. His power can turn them into zombies. The zombie monster doesn't like monster hunters because they defeat other monsters, so he tells his zombie helpers to hurt Denji. Denji is very hurt and tries to run away, but the zombies catch him and hurt him even more. They chop him up and throw him into a big bin with Pochita. When some of Denji's blood gets in Pochita's mouth, Pochita wakes up. Pochita remembers the times he and Denji were chopping trees together. Denji once told him that if he dies while fighting a monster, he would be sad about leaving Pochita alone and hungry. He also worried that other monster hunters might hurt Pochita. Denji had heard that some monsters could live in dead bodies, so he asked Pochita to live in his body if something happened to him. He wanted to live a normal life and have a normal ending. In the big bin, Pochita joins with Denji, putting his chopped up pieces back together and making him better. When Denji wakes up, he wonders if Pochita is now living in his body. Pochita tells him that he loved hearing Denji talk about his dreams. So, Pochita decided to give him his heart, but in return, he wants Denji to make his dreams come true. Denji wakes up feeling better in the bin and sees Pochita's tail coming out of his chest. The zombie monster is surprised to see Denji alive and tells the zombies to eat him. Denji starts thinking that he might be like the tough people. He was happy with Pochita, but he always wanted more. If that's true, then he can't be mad at them. But if they stand in his way, he'll fight them. Denji pulls a cord from his chest when the zombies try to jump on him. After that, he changes shape and becomes like a chainsaw. He comes out from the zombies and starts chopping them up. He jumps on the zombie monster and starts cutting him. But the zombie monster pushes him back.
Hey, are you playing Genshin Impact right now?
And starts cutting him. But the zombie monster pushes him back and throws zombies at him to keep him away. Denji keeps defeating the zombies and jumps back on the zombie monster, slicing him in two. Looking at the remaining zombies, Denji realizes they're monsters and it's his job to defeat them. He fights them all, saying that once he does, he won't owe the tough people any money. In the early morning, a car stops in front of the old building. A lady named Makima and two men go inside and see all the mess. Makima sees Denji and walks towards him, saying he smells different, not like a person or a monster, and guesses that he caused all the mess. Denji asks for a hug and Makima gives him one. He turns back into his normal self and Makima says that he's a person and not controlled by a monster. She tells him she came to defeat the zombie monster and that she's a monster hunter who works for public safety. She tells Denji he has two choices. She can treat him like a monster and hurt him, or she can keep him safe as a person. If he chooses to stay with her, she promises to give him food. When Denji asks what he'd get for breakfast, she tells him he'd get bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, and maybe even a dessert. Denji thinks this sounds great, so he agrees. In the car, Denji's tummy makes a noise because he's hungry. Nakama tells him he's under her care now and she wants him to always say yes or woof. She doesn't need a pet that says no. Denji used to think Makima was nice, but now he finds her a bit scary because she treats him like a pet. Then Denji remembers Pachita and his tummy rumbles again. Nakama suggests they stop at a rest stop for food. She says she'll pay and gives him a coat because he doesn't have a shirt. Denji is really happy because no one has ever been that nice to him. He thinks he might love Makima. At the rest stop, Denji orders noodles and sausage, while Makima orders curry noodles. But Denji starts to feel weak because he lost some blood from turning into a chainsaw. He falls onto Makima and says sorry, explaining why he feels weak. She asks him how he turned into a chainsaw, and Denji tells her about his pet monster replacing his heart. Nakama tells Denji that his situation is very unusual, and it doesn't even have a name yet. But she believes him because she has a good nose for these things. She explains that his friend is still alive inside him, and that's why he smells like both a person and a monster. Denji is really happy about this, but he starts feeling weak again and falls asleep. When he wakes up, their noodle soup is ready. Nakama asks if he can eat by himself. At first, Denji says yes, but then he changes his mind and says no. So Makima helps him eat his noodle soup. Then Denji asks Mak type of boys she likes. Makima tells him that she likes boys who are like Denji. Nakama tells him that they've arrived at the headquarters for the monster hunters in Tokyo. As they walk into the building, Makima explains there are more than 1,000 monster hunters in Tokyo, including regular folks. She says working for public safety has the best perks and even paid time off. Denji starts to wonder if they will work together and maybe even be more than co-workers. Nakama gives Denji a uniform and introduces him to another co-worker named Iki, who started 3 years ago. Denji will be working with Iki that day. Denji is surprised that he won't be working with Makima. Iki tells him it's normal, then tries to take Denji out to do their rounds. But Denji doesn't want to go, saying he wants to work with Makima. Nakama comes over and tells Denji that if he does well, maybe they can work together someday. She even promises to help him tie his necktie. While on rounds with Iki, Denji asks if Makima has a boyfriend. Iki first ignores him, then takes him to a quiet alley and punches him. Iki hits Denji a few more times and tells him to quit. He warns Denji that if he shows up tomorrow, he'll beat him up again. Denji is confused and Iki tells him he's actually trying to be nice. He says people who take the job without thinking always end up in trouble. Iki knows people who became monster hunters just for money, and they didn't make it. He says only those with strong reasons can survive. Iki guesses that Denji took the job because of Makima, and Denji admits it's true. As Iki walks away, he says he'll tell Makima that Denji got scared and ran away from the monsters. Suddenly, Denji runs up to Iki and kicks him hard. Denji says Iki is a good guy because when he fights men, he aims for a painful spot. Then he kicks Iki again. Denji says today was the first time he ever had udon and sausage and was treated like a person. He may have taken the monster hunting job without thinking, but if he can keep this lifestyle, he doesn't mind if he gets into danger. Denji quickly adds that he cares about staying safe, because his life isn't just his own anymore. Iki gets up and tries to fight Denji again. He says Denji shouldn't be chasing after someone like Makima, but Denji kicks Iki again, teasing him that he also likes Makima. Iki falls and notes that Denji always aims for the same spot. After their fight, they go to see Makima. Denji jokes that the Nut Devil attacked Iki, but Iki says that's not true. Makima asks if they can work together. They both say no, but Makima doesn't listen. She tells Denji that he'll be joining Iki's team. Iki doesn't want another troublemaker, but Makima reminds him that she had mentioned their team works differently from others. Iki wonders what's special about Denji, and Makima reveals that Denji can turn into a monster. Iki has heard rumors about this, but didn't think they were true. Makima tells them that Denji is special and will be treated differently. She warns that if Denji tries to quit or doesn't work, he'll be treated like a monster. Iki tells Denji that he'll be living with him so he can keep an eye on him. He also warns Denji that if he tries to run away, Iki has permission to stop him. Denji asks if Makima might be bad, but Iki says if he feels that way, he should stay away from her. Iki reminds Denji to be thankful that Makima didn't hurt him, but Denji also wonders if she might be good, and Iki agrees that she is because she saved Denji's life. The next morning, at Iki's house, Denji makes a big mess while making his breakfast with different kinds of jam. He continues to live without worrying about anything. which annoys Aki. One day, they go on a mission because there's a report of a monster called a fiend. Denji doesn't know what a fiend is, so Aki asks if he ever went to school. Denji says he did. Aki explains that a fiend is a monster that takes over a dead person's body. Denji wonders if he's a fiend, but Aki says no because fiends have different looking heads. They find the fiend and Aki tells Denji to use his monster powers to fight it. This way, Aki can see if Denji is helpful. The fiend gets mad and attacks them, but Denji quickly cuts off its head with an axe. Aki asks why Denji didn't use his monster powers, and Denji says that it would have made a big mess. He also wanted to make it as painless as possible for the fiend. Aki tells Denji that fiends are like bad monsters and he shouldn't feel sorry for them when he's hunting them. He shares that a monster killed his family in front of him, and that's why he takes his job very seriously. He asks Denji if he's trying to be friends with these monsters. Denji admits that he would like to be friends with a monster if he could, because he doesn't have any friends. Aki leaves, remembering what Denji said. When Denji is alone, he admits he didn't want to get the 18+ magazines on the floor messy with blood, which is why he didn't change into a monster. Denji feels like his dream of a good life has come true, but he feels like something's missing. As he thinks about what people usually dream about, he thinks about Makima. He then says out loud that he wants to touch her. He had forgotten about this dream, but now that he has a good life, he thinks it might be possible. He decides this is his new dream, to touch a woman. Later, when talking to Makima, she tells him she's giving him a new friend to work with. She explains that they work in pairs for patrols and smaller jobs. When Denji meets his new work friend, Makima tells him she's a fiend. Her name is Power. Denji is surprised. He didn't know a fiend could be a devil hunter, but when he sees her chest, he changes his mind and is happy to meet her. Makima says fiends usually need to be hunted, but Power is different and she's part of Aki's team. She tells them they have to do a good job or their special team could be cancelled, and they know what that would mean for them, because Power's horns could draw attention. Makima tells them to go places where there aren't many people. Power starts being difficult and slaps Denji. She wants him to find her something she can hunt because she
Pampers Cruisers 360 has a blowout barrier with up to 100% leak-free fit.
Have you ever cooked a steak in the dishwasher?
she craves for blood. Even though Power is being hard to work with, Denji doesn't mind because he likes her. But Denji and Power can't find any devils. Power thinks other devils might be scared of her because she used to be a devil herself. Suddenly, Power smells blood and she runs off. There's news of a sea cucumber devil nearby. Before anyone can do anything, Power jumps from a building, creates a hammer from her blood, and squishes the devil. It's a big, bloody mess. Power is very happy about killing the devil. A team comes to clean up Power's mess. Nakama tells Power that she's caused trouble. If a devil hunter from public safety kills a devil before a normal hunter can, it's like stealing